Hi everyone, welcome into this week's My Weekly CBS Fix. I hope you had a wonderful week. This week's video is dedicated to Ellie and Sarah Lehman, and Mazel Tov to you on Chaydina and Moshe's engagement. May you go from Simcha to Simcha, also dedicated as a refuah shlema for Nechama Bas Chai Rivka. In this week's Parsha is Haftaras Vayakhel. The Torah tells us about the different kalim, the different vessels that were made for the tabernacle, for the Mishkan. And in this week's Haftorah, we read about the different kalim, vessels that were made for the Beis HaMikdash. Now, when Hashem made the Mishkan, Hashem employed two people. Hashem employed Bezalel, who was from the tribe of Yehuda, and Aholiav, who was from the tribe of Dan. And the same thing when King Solomon made the temple, so he was himself, he helped build it, and he also employed somebody named Chiram, who was also from the tribe of Dan, to help him build the vessels. So this wasn't by accident. There's a lesson over here. Now, the lesson is that Yehuda, the tribe of Yehuda, who Bezalel and Shlomo were from, Yehuda was representing the Malchus, the kingdom of the Jewish people, whereas the tribe of Dan, unfortunately, they were the most inferior. And the reason they were most inferior is because they initially introduced idol worship through Micha, and so therefore the other tribes used to look down at the tribe of Dan. And so therefore Hashem specifically said, it doesn't matter. When it comes to serving Hashem, everybody is equal. Yehuda, Dan, let them come together in order to show unity. Now, the details of the Mishkan are, all the vessels are many. You're going to have to go read it for yourself. But the two things I want to talk about are the two pillars that Chiram had set up. They were 18 feet tall, and there were crowns on top of them. They were bedecked beautifully with pomegranates and other details, but he made two of them. One of them he called Yachan, the one on the right he called Yacham, the one on the left he called Boaz. Now Yachan comes from the word establishment, like the verse says, Mikdash Hashem konani yadecha. Hashem, your Mikdash, your hands established it. And Boaz means Boaz, in it is strength. And Shlomo HaMelech was hoping that his palace that he built here for Hashem, his temple, would be established forever, and Boaz in it would be the strength to endure all the sins that the Jewish people would do in the future. Now, to take this just a different level, is we know that every home that is built through a marriage, there's the husband, the wife. They have their jobs, and they're the two pillars of the home. Now, the two pillars of the Mikdash, however, represent two of the pillars that the world stands on. The world stands on three pillars: Torah, Avoda, and Gemilas Chasadim. Torah, the service of Hashem, and acts of kindness. So the two pillars that are over here that Chiram had built, they both one stood for Torah, the other one stood for the Avoda, for the service. But the third one, acts of kindness, that was not part of the building itself. It wasn't part of the structure itself. That was something that the people themselves have to do. And we have to add that in our service to Hashem. So it's the same thing in a marriage. The Torah and the Avoda is the foundation. And what the couples bring in Gimas Chasan, acts of kindness for each other. And when we build our own Mikdash Ma'at, our small mini temple, which is what we do through a marriage ceremony, so we have to know that Hashem is a partner, the husband is a partner, the wife is a partner, but the most crucial thing that they both need after they lay the foundation is to fill it up with acts of kindness. And you have to go out of your way to think of how to be kind. You have to invent ways to be kind to your spouses. Believe it or not, you might think, oh, yeah, of course, I'm always going to do it. But sometimes it rubs off, and eventually it kind of becomes like a little stagnant. But nevertheless, you always have to think of ways of being kind. And through that kindness, that third pillar is what will guarantee that it will be a Yachan, something that will be established forever, and Boaz, in that marriage, there will be strength, and it will be enduring and last forever and be inculcated into your children for many generations. Thank you for listening. It's just a small lesson in this week's Parsha. Have a great, wonderful Shabbos.